All right, we're live.
We're live.
We're live.
Live.
That should be good distance there.
What's up, Mike?
Morning. How's it going?
Good. How are you? Mike's opening up the show today.
Yeah. Oh, I guess I am. I'm opening the show.
You're the opener.
Wow. Opener. I've been the closer before, but never the opener. Not sure what that means, but thanks for inviting me back, guys. Last time was a blast. I wasn't sure if I'd get invited back or not, but it's a pleasant surprise.
We got some, I guess, requests.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm not surprised. Thanks for letting me sit next to Josh, though. That was, it makes me...
One of you guys is going to have to call a hand check halfway through.
Yeah, I got you.
With those calves, I can't resist myself.
It's those cyclist calves, those swimmers calves.
Good morning, 518.
Yeah, it was
Welcome
a
back
delayed
to-
opening to our show.
Jeez.
Well, Mike took a while.
Sorry.
Brief pause. Welcome to Coffee Talk. Well,
Coaching over coffee. We've changed the brand. We have coffee mugs. We have logos. We have everything.
Coaching Over Coffee, episode 3,
Yeah.
officially with the new logo. We brought Mike back to give us some entertainment, but also maybe touch on some more serious topics.
You keep trying to look at the questions.
I'm not looking at the questions. I'm
This is
looking
the
in
third
your
time you've
eyes.
done this.
I'm looking into your eyes.
Oh, well, okay. All
Or
right.
I'll just gaze straight out.
Perfect.
Like you know what you do. Always do.
All right,
Yeah.
Mike.
All right, Mike, let's go.
Sweet. So we're gonna start with some rapid fire. We did that last time. That was kind of fun,
Okay.
and then we'll get into the real meat and potatoes.
Meat and potatoes.
Meat and potatoes. So big spoon or little spoon?
Oh, I'm the big.
Big.
Little.
Oh my god. Color me shocked. Wow. I'm really, really shocked by that one. But what do you like about little spoon? Like what? Why is that
Comforting.
comforting?
I like my head scratched.
Oh, okay.
All right.
All right, that
Yeah.
works. Perfect. Crocs with socks. Yay or nay?
Minus the Crocs ever. Hoka slides with socks.
Crocs are ugly as hell, so no Crocs.
Shout out to Joe Killian, who wears Crocs nonstop before I converted him over to Hokas. Thank you.
I don't own a pair of Crocs.
Never have.
I think I
never have.
Never have.
No.
Okay. But I had Birkenstocks, and I'd wear socks with them sometimes.
Air Jesuses.
Oh
Borrow
my.
some? Anyone need to borrow some? I got them. I got you covered.
Thought
No,
about
thank
it.
you.
Thought about it.
Then I realized I was an adult.
All right. Over under on how many candles Josh lit before he went to bed last night.
Ooh, shit.
3. 3 is the under.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to go with like minimum of 2.
It was,
Pushing 3. It was probably 1 because he
it was
doesn't have a
one I
big
was
apartment.
cleaning.
Oh,
So there's a certain one that I did for cleaning.
Okay.
there's
Yeah.
a cleaning candle.
There's a cleaning candle. It's gotta be like a freshness. You know, it can't be like that.
The room isn't fresh itself. The candle has to be fresh.
No, but the cleaning materials have to match the scent of the candle. You can't
Wow.
have overlapping fragrances,
Okay.
or else it's too much.
So what scent was it? Linen freshness or
Yeah,
something?
basically.
Wow.
Clean linen, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Very, very subtle.
Bath and Body Works,
Spring,
Target.
spring flowers.
Target, Walmart, somewhere.
Okay.
I'm not going far for candles.
No.
That's where I draw the line.
Well, that was like the eucalyptus one I showed you last week.
Yeah.
This wasn't on the questions, but was lotion involved? Any lotion? No lotion?
No lotion.
Essential oils?
No, not last night.
Okay, but sometimes there is.
Sometimes, yeah. Depends on the night. Depends what I need to recharge.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Favorite drink at Common Roots? I have some unfair information on this because we recently had a happy hour, but I figured it'd be good to share. You go first because I really liked.
Yeah,
what
that
you
snowy.
chugged.
Yeah, that snowy one was good. The
What it-
s'mores one.
Yeah.
Yes, that one was good.
Yeah.
So shout out to them for being amazing and having that on their menu.
Yeah, that smelled really good.
I just had a glass of water, but
But wait,
good
what-
fortune's good.
I know why you had water because you didn't want to get the embarrassing "Can I ID you?"
That's
question.
true, yeah. I was concerned if I was going to get ID'd. I had my wallet on me.
0. I mean, I'm not a big beer guy just because it's boring. I like vodka. It kind of cuts to the chase.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
good.
We get right to the point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So that's my favorite drink there.
All right. Worst date you've ever been on?
Ooh.
This might not be rapid fire, but I thought it was a good one.
Dan, you can start.
Nope. Nope.
I'm trying to think of like what's the movie like with Rob Schneider where he dates like all the
Deuce Bigelow, male gigolo.
something like that.
Yeah.
I'm thinking like those are all terrible dates. I had a date back in New York City, and this isn't like worst date ever, but great night. We go to a champagne bar, buy a few bottles of champagne, and then I pay for the bill. And she flipped out, caused a scene, and never talked to me ever again.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Nice.
it was a cool date. It was an expensive one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Went on a date. Parents ended up following as if they didn't know where she was because she didn't tell them. And obviously, we were very concerned, and I just felt very out of place because it was almost like I
Yeah. Because
guess I kidnapped her.
because she was 12?
No.
No. Okay. Dan, you're up.
Um,
Oh god, I can't wait for this one.
Yeah.
I dressed up like Ultimate Warrior.
No, that's the second date. Went on a date. Went to a movie. Chick was on her cell phone half the movie, got out, and then came back. And during the movie, her and her ex-boyfriend had gotten back together while we were out on the date.
Okay.
So I paid for everything, and I was like, wow, cool, thanks.
Second date?
No second date on that one. No second date on that one.
Good. Okay.
All right.
That is a worst date.
Yeah, that.
How did that make you feel? Let's go therapy right now.
The worst part was I was really excited to see the movie, and then all of a sudden, she just kept texting, and then like got up and left, and then like after the movie, she told me that. I was like, okay, like I'm not gonna.
What
date
was the
for-
movie? 50 Goes West or?
What an asshole! It was one of the fucking Harry Potter ones.
Oh, even worse.
Yeah,
Figures.
like I didn't even want to fucking go.
Okay.
You didn't want to go?
I know I don't like Harry Potter.
Oh. Didn't expect that.
Nope.
All right. How old were you when you had your first kiss? Or, not assuming anything, but how old do you think you will be when you have your first kiss?
The comment section is
Yeah.
probably on fire right now.
I wish we could see it through this.
It would
but
be
you
fun.
can't.
It would be really good. And if you want to disclose the name, feel free. You don't have to, but if you want to, Ryan, if you want to disclose the name, feel free.
I was like 12, my pillow.
Oh,
I think there was like a practice session before.
okay.
Yeah.
Was there lotion involved?
No.
Oh.
No.
Dry.
Yep.
Okay.
Try.
Yep.
Okay.
No chapstick.
No, I feel like I was the guy that was like Billy Madison, like with the lipstick, crossing out people I was gonna kill. My mom was like, "What's the murder scene on your pillow?" It's practicing, Mom. I was 12 though. 12.
12.
Titanic, by the way. Shout out to the worst movie ever made.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
They've released it in theaters like 6 times.
I know, but that's why I was a makeout session because I was 12 and I wanted nothing to do with the movie.
That
Such a
movie's like
shit
3
movie.
hours
With
long.
like 17 people, like it was like 17 of my buddies. We were all there, like makeout session. Weird, right? All my buddies are like slapping my leg. Yeah, yeah.
cheering you on in the theater.
Good. I was
Be
saying
like
like,
one of your French girls, Jack.
yeah. I was telling her, don't let go. Josh, go ahead. I gotta stop.
Probably 13 or 14.
Good for you.
Way to make up an answer.
It
Okay.
was 7th grade. I don't know how old you usually are.
Good.
Yeah.
Dan, what do you guys do in Luzerne?
Not make out with pillows like freaks.
That's Fortsville.
That's like some Buffalo Bill Silence of the Lambs stuff. 16?
Okay.
Yeah, I was a late
With a
bloomer.
human?
With a human.
Okay.
God, I'm trying to keep it PG for Mom. Trying to keep it PG.
Well, you've already said the F word about 4 times. So
Oh,
you're
I did.
good.
I'm sorry, Mom.
It's okay.
I'm
Yeah, you did.
working on it. I'm working on it.
I guess we're so
Money in the swear
Yeah,
jar.
used to it.
that it's just in one ear, out the other.
All right, Mike.
All right. So next week, 12 of us from the gym are running Ragnar. It's a team race, 12 of us running 200 and some odd miles. 3 out of the 4 guys here are doing it. I was just curious, like, why are you guys running the race? Like, why? Like, why are you doing it?
Dan, go ahead.
Something different. We've done 4x4x48. We've done Spartans. We've done marathons. We've got a lot of stuff that we've wanted to do. And when we were compiling the list of things, we thought it would be cool to do this and kind of come up with a list of people who we'd want to be with and run with. I think for me, personally, it's just going and doing something new that's not in my typical wheelhouse. Because it's like someone, I can't remember who, said, you guys do hard stuff, but it's easy
Chris
for you.
Mass.
Yeah, Chris. And it's
Yeah.
like, I don't know if it would be easy for me to sit with 5 other people in a van for 2 days and do something like this. It's not like I can go anywhere.
Right. Mike, how about you? Because you're next in line.
I've done them in the past, and I thought they were awesome. The part I like about it is the camaraderie. You've got 200 teams of 12 people or so running this, and everyone just pulls together and encourages each other. You may be running in 2 a.m. up a mountain, and a van will go by and start beeping and yelling out the window and stuff like that. So it's just amazing. It's just the community. The community is amazing. It's fun. And it's a challenge. Like, it's like most of these races that I do, at least personally, like, it's the feeling you get at the end, the feeling of accomplishment that you actually did something pretty cool. And for me, doing it with people from the gym just makes it that much better. Like, I'm going to get to know 11 other people way better than I did before it started. So that's my motivation for sure.
Oh, we're skipping you?
Yeah, I'll be
Okay.
holding down the fort.
Okay. I want to redeem myself because I ran the Ragnar once and I had a tough experience. Does anybody know this story?
No.
You've mentioned it briefly.
What's that?
What was the experience?
I didn't train for it before. I was in a van or people. I knew 2 of my clients. I was kind of like a reserve, so I didn't know anybody. So let's talk about the opposite of camaraderie. It's like I'm the guy in the back, not talking to anybody because I don't know and can't chime in on conversations. But my last run was, early in the morning. Didn't have like food prepared, didn't know what to expect, blah, 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 blah. I had school lunch before. So at night we had Thai Ticonderoga,
Oh, you did
spaghetti.
Thai? Oh,
Yeah,
boy.
spaghetti, salad, and then chocolate milk. I thought that was a great idea to throw that in the mixing pot. Wake up from a nap when you're coiled into a van trying to sleep. Had half of a coffee, and I didn't really drink coffee then. And I had French toast sticks. So just put that together as a
Sports
mixture.
nutrition 101.
Midway through the run, the anchor dropped. I had to shit. So I pulled off into the woods. Long story short, I had a long sleeve shirt on and then a tank top over the top of it. The tank top came off. The long sleeve came off. The long sleeve ended up getting buried. Had a nice burial. And as I started to run again, I realized that my baton, or the wrist thing that you're supposed to give everybody, so like you hand the wrist thing to the next runner, was soiled as
shirt,
well.
yeah.
It was gone. So they're like, "Oh, where is it?" And I was like, "Keep running. I'll tell you later." So that was my my redemption story.
Wow. Hope that doesn't happen again.
Yeah, nobody hopes that situation ever happens.
Put it on your ankle or something instead.
Sure. Yeah. That's a good spot for it too.
Luckily, it's not in our van.
No.
So we're not going to have to smell that. So that's good.
Well, technology's come a long way. We've got Dude Wipes.
Yeah. Let's go.
Yeah.
Shout out to Dude Wipes. Thank you.
Yeah. Sponsored.
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 Yeah.
Yeah. I know for me personally, like when I come in here each morning, there's certain people I just kind of look around and be like, okay, good, they're here. Like it's just kind of like reassuring. They're always here. It makes me feel good, and I know that they're going to make my workout experience just a little bit better. like who's a person like that if they just stopped going to the gym would be like personally devastating to you guys? Like if you walked in and you're like, oh shit, where is so and so? Like, you know, it could be two people, but like who's the person if you looked around and they just stopped coming here every morning? Like, and what would the impact be? Like, how would that impact you?
Josh, you go first.
Honestly, I think, especially over the last like few weeks, definitely you, Mike. You'd
wow.
be a
Wow.
big- well, that's
Wow.
just well.
Wow. Sponsored bromance.
I love it.
Just because, you know, sure, I've seen you in one group before, and now you're keeping the consistency that you have here. Sorry, can you guys hear me through the mic?
Yeah,
Yep.
I just don't want to hear this story. Go ahead.
But I think, you know, we've taken our relationship to the next level.
Oh my
Hand
gosh.
goes under the... but it's a nice thing to joke around in the morning, you know, to see your face coming in, definitely.
Dan, go ahead.
Kevin and Sonia. That's those two
Yeah.
are the first two that I think of because 5 a.m. has kind of either become me training people in the back or it's become my personal training time. And those two, like when Josh stole Kev for 2 days out of the week to go break Mark Wahlberg's face, I genuinely was like, well, shit, you know, I don't have Kevin and Sonia. So those two are my definite, if I didn't have them in my 6 a.m. class to start off my day, it would be a whole different vibe for me.
My answer, just because I've had the influx of everybody coming in and out for 8-9 years. I think the two boys that are sitting here that I work with every single day, and I think that brings it for me, is the appreciation. And it's easy to come to work every single day. I don't dread it. You know, I think, you know, we're sounding boards for each other. We're the dynamic between the three of us, from like old heads to this young buck over here, is pretty fun. And people are always like, Josh just lets you guys pick on him all the time. I'm like, I don't think it's picking on it. It's like that little brother type of mentality. And then Casey's growing on me a lot. She actually uses words now, which is nice, and she speaks. We also like to play jokes on her, and she's kind of getting the hang of it too, not taking everything serious like a woman. But yeah, I think, you know, if it wasn't for these guys, I don't think you have that energy or community, so to speak. But I mean, I've had hundreds of people come through the door, so I think everybody that comes in, I value. So that's a political answer.
No, that's legit. And I, as far as you guys as trainers, I could say for me personally, like, you guys have a great dynamic. I think you guys all bring something different to the table, which is pretty cool.
Would you label what differences that we all bring as a consumer, as a participant?
Sure.
Start with Dan.
Dan. Boy, how do I say this?
Put Mike on the spot. Let's go.
Here goes those political answers that Ryan was dodging.
Yeah,
now,
I'm gonna-
now Mike has to shoot me in the face.
No, Dan has a good way of motivating you, and keeping you focused. And I think part of it is like, I always look up to people that like will just do anything and aren't afraid of doing anything. And when I think about, like, you know, maybe I shouldn't do Ragnar, or last year, I mean, Dan was the one that kind of led me into doing the Spartan races. Like, I'd never done anything like that. And by the end of the summer, you know, I did the trifecta. And like the last trifecta, the last of it was like a 20K, and I hadn't even run that far before, let alone do a Spartan with all the obstacles. But like, Dan motivated me because he just does anything. Like, he has no fear. So he definitely leads by example, which is big for me. Josh, my bromance over here, he's just
Did you hear the little giggle?
did.
You did?
yeah, yeah.
Voila. We're gonna, like, we should call this show Voila.
I can't say enough nice things about Josh, to be honest. And this isn't just me just talking, but like, he genuinely cares so much about the people that come through the door. You can tell when someone just gives you lip service. Wow. Jeez.
Yes.
That was dumb. Okay. sometimes people say that they care about your day or want to know how you're doing, but like Josh genuinely cares about how we are doing. If you were having a bad day, I'm sure that impacts Josh in some way. So he cares about us. He has amazing calves, and everything about him is really great. And Ryan's the reason I started coming to
How
this
the hell
gym.
do you follow up that?
I know that is.
Jeez,
that is
good
tough
thing
to
I'm
follow.
last.
Yeah. Save the best for last.
Ryan's the reason I came to this gym in the first place a year and a half ago, and he's a big part of the reason why I keep coming. I would say commitment to excellence. He always, again, he never expects more out of us than he expects of himself. So he expects himself to get better all the time, and he expects that of us, and just leads by example, cares, again, about us, and wants to make this place more than just coming in and lifting weights and doing burpees and stuff like that. Like, that's one of the things I love about here, honestly. It's more than just showing up and sweating and going home. Like, I have friends here. It's just really great. So,
Good. Next question.
next question. Again, keeping it PG, what is your favorite physical activity to do outside of these walls?
I like to play golf. That was easy.
Yeah.
Bike and lift. That's it.
Outside of the walls, other than racing, which I like, the wrestling aspect for me is fun. Because first off, it gets a lot of aggression out and it kind of tempers, but also much like here, like there's a camaraderie in the locker room that is different than anywhere else that you'll have. So, and plus you have to put a lot of trust in someone if you're letting them throw you
Yeah.
20 feet across the ring and then like hitting you with blunt objects. Like there has to be a.
Do they actually hit you?
Is
Yeah.
it fake?
Yeah. Is it fake?
Does it really
God,
hurt?
can't believe you just asked me that on a live podcast.
I heard the ring is more of like a trampoline
I'm
base.
gonna, as soon as this podcast is over, we're going out back to talk.
Okay.
But no, that's like my favorite physical activity.
Okay. Do you want to have kids or more kids? Wow. Awkward silence.
I'll go first. I'll go first. All right. So I cannot have any more kids. That was taken care of.
Taken care of.
That was taken care of. And the reason why is I've mentioned it before. My kid is on the spectrum, and at the time, research was pointing towards dad. So me being the smart person I was like, nope. I think I would make a really cool stepdad, and I think I would be good with a blended family. My thing is that, Logan is my, like, I hate to say it, like, Logan is my one. So anyone who I would be in a relationship with that would have a kid, I would have to make sure that he's the most comfortable in the situation because he's already got that blended family on his mom's side. So I would want to make sure that he's good as much as I would be good. Because, man, kids are awesome. Like, you can sit there and have a conversation with kids and, it's enjoyable. And, for me, I might not be able to have any of my own, but hell, I'd be a cool stepdad. I'd be cool with that shit.
The same intellect as if you were talking to a kid?
All right, let's be honest. If I were to have a conversation about Marvel characters with a 6-year-old, it's pretty much
Highlight of the day.
I'm highlight of the day. I'm like, let me tell you about Iron Man.
I think I got a ways to go. I have some kids here that I train, and I'll keep those for as long as I can.
Your surrogates.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, I would like kids. I think I would be a fun dad. Just however the cards play out would be my political answer.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Along the kid route, like what is the
good,
big-
Mike.
No,
keep
no,
going.
no. This is
Keep
back,
digging into it, man.
this
Just
is
spent 2 hours at therapy this week about it. So go ahead.
this is back to the gym. What is the most challenging part you see of training teenagers, preteens, and things like that? Because
I'll go.
Okay.
I've worked with a lot of kids throughout the last, like I would call it 10 years. And then even in New York City, I think the one underlying thing that I see now, which is tough, is that there's a few kids that get it, that are willing to do anything and everything. There was a group of Queensbury athletes, Patrick being included in them, that just got it. You know, for example, they would get off a bus from a game and drive to the gym and work out. They'd be working out till 9 o'clock at night. They would text me at 8, can we come in and work out? And when I had home gym, I call it home gym because I lived there.
Yep.
We would stay up till like 11 o'clock at night making like protein waffles, watching games. They just had camaraderie, but it was a refusal to be average and mediocre, and you didn't have to pull anything out of them. Mm-hmm. You know, it wasn't. There was a competitiveness in these kids that, hey, we're going to do a drill. If I came in second, Patrick was always the one. He'd go up against Brett Rodriguez, both freak athletes. But if Brett ever beat Pat's like, let's get in line again, let's go. Let's get in line again, let's go. It was just this. It was fun to watch. I don't see that cutthroat mentality in a lot of kids these days. So I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's we're trying to celebrate, you know, mediocrity, or hey, you know, just showing up, the participation type of mentality. But I just don't see the cutthroat. I'm gonna tear your face off in this drill. I'm gonna be as consistent as possible because I'm willing to outwork everybody else. So that's been my experience over the last, I would say, 10 years.
I only have a year of experience of coaching kids, but I think just overall is kind of differentiating maybe some like learned habits and behaviors at home and not separating that from here. I know like when I was younger, whether it was a new place or a place like I'd always go to that my parents would drop me off at, it was as if like I kind of almost reset everything and like, you know, just kind of formed myself to where that environment was, if that makes sense. Whereas like, you know, I can tell kids that come in here, young ones especially, if they're not which you can tell the relationship between the parent immediately and the conversations that we have, if they're not not stern with their kids, I want to say, but like, you know, assertive, like they
Hands off.
Yeah. They represent like a parent figure more so than they do like a friend and being like, hey, it's okay. They kind of bring that in here too. So as somebody who is now being like a coach or like a supervisor for that hour, they treat me the same way they would treat their parents sometimes. And, you know, if I do have to put my foot down, then to them either they act out a little bit more or, you know, they refuse to listen to me as like the authority figure.
What do you think there's a difference between a kid like, you know, Jordan Bentley or Jazzy or Cole? You know, those are kids that, yeah, they're going to go play at a higher level, but there's a consistency aspect to it that I think, hey, no matter what, when they're back in school, when they're back from school, you know that they're going to be they're gym rats.
I think it's a big thing of accountability. Like you said, I think a lot of parents like nowadays will just be like, hey, if their kid like talks back or something, they just throw their hands up and walk away. Versus, you know, maybe those kids' parents are there to push them, be like, hey, make sure you get this in line. You know, they're still very independent as is, but they're always there to kind of guide them along. Be like, hey, you know, you're coming back in 2 weeks. Like
both the Doyle boys, you know, the Coopers, you know, the Kraft like family. You know, I look at like a lot of those kids that are just so devoted. You know, like Maddie Sawyer and the Harringtons, like all that group of like, hey, no matter what, Tuesday, Thursday, we're working out. Like, hey, there's a snowstorm. Coach, we're not going to have you guys come in the snowstorm. We were already on our way. Yeah. You know, that type of, hey, we're going to get after it.
I think it comes from the parent figures, definitely. You know, how they grew up, how they learned, where they are at in their lives, and how they want to see their kids kind of achieve the same thing, if not more.
Yeah.
I don't work with a lot of the student athletes, but I watch Josh work with them. And Chase and Eli, and I'm sorry, I'm drawing a blank.
His name's Colton.
Colton, thank you. Those three, you know, different age groups, different athletic skills, but to watch those three kind of push each other, and I mean,
yeah, like that's a senior, a junior, and a kid that's in 4th grade.
Yeah, and
spectrum of athletes.
Yeah,
yes.
And I will sit here in between clients and watch Josh work with them, and the thing that I say, and I've said to someone off to the side, was like, you can tell that those two genuinely care about Eli and
Yeah.
making sure that eventually he kind of takes that role. And so, like, that's kind of cool to watch that. And, you know, I hope it gives me hope that, like, those guys are kind of going to pass the baton down.
Yeah.
Throw a dynamic of like Mike. Throw G in the mix. You know, she's been coming since she was knee high to a grasshopper. Probably the youngest person ever to come in here. But and this is not just because it's your kid. She's that cutthroat mentality. She's the one.
You have to pull her back.
Yeah, and I remember the
All the
day. Listen,
time.
we did a workout over the summer, and I walked over. I was like, "Gee, you don't look good," and she goes, "I'm fine." And I said, "You don't look good," and she goes, "I have to finish." And she went to the bathroom and went and threw
Oh,
up.
I know.
Right? But we had to be like, "Gee, like, listen, take a step back. You know, you're gonna be okay." But you're the youngest human being here. I mean, you're a year younger than Josh, and you're working out with a bunch of older people. So.
Yeah, and the cool thing about that for me is like a lot of the ways she
Mike,
motivated
speak
me.
into the mic.
She motivated me
Thank
to be consistent and prioritize myself and push myself because like every night before, you know, I put her to bed and she goes to bed and she's like, oh, so she just assumes and knows that I'm going to work out in the morning. So like not only am I doing it for myself, I'm, you know, motivating her hopefully, and
That's
we
super
motivate each
cool,
other.
man.
Like it's just like every night she's like, okay. And she'll be like, oh, I'll see you in the morning. I know you're working out in the basement, or, you know, have a great workout. Like that, it's evolved a lot, like, over the years. But every night before she goes to bed, she's like, have a great workout tomorrow.
That's
have a great
cool.
workout.
Yeah.
Enjoy the gym. Like, it's really awesome. She's amazing. She motivates me, and she's pretty cool.
That's cool to have.
Yeah. for
Shout
sure.
out Gavin too.
Yeah. Yeah, I have 2 children. Yeah, they both motivate me for sure. They're my life, so they're the best.
On a non-sappier note, next question.
Next question. Let's see. What's one thing that you guys have accomplished in any capacity in the last 6 months that like you really hang your hat on? You're like, shit, man, I did this, or I was a part of this, or just something that just makes you know, just feel good about yourself.
I'm super proud of the 2 that are next to me. I go back to that, the growth that they've established as just human beings. I don't even give 2 shits about like being a trainer. I think the interaction between them and other clients or anybody that's new, there's this level of trust that I have in them that they're going to do the right thing, that their intentions are super authentic, and I can just say like, hey, you know, contact this person, and they won't contact them for 3 weeks. I'm really trustworthy of that. That was a joke, Dan, as you stare up into the sunset.
Wait, sorry, I wasn't listening.
Sorry.
Yeah. He's playing your game.
Yeah.
But I think that's a huge accomplishment for me, is to have that as a team thing in 6 months.
I think learning that if there is anything that is most important is to be consistent. And of course that comes with time, that comes with repetition. But, you know, if there is one thing I don't want to pat my own back on, but of course I learned it from these guys mostly, is like being consistent is going to get you like the most out of it.
Talk about the day when you were super sick.
Was that back in December or November?
We were doing a podcast.
Yeah. What was it? I came in and I started to feel pretty under the weather, and it was
Do
like,
you remember that? I remember he was right over here.
Yes.
and it was like the day before. Ryan was just telling me, like, dude, like all the things that he had done when he was first opening up the gym and just like had the people coming in that he did. And he was like, dude, I worked with mono. So I started to feel like absolute dog shit. And I came in, like, fever broke in the night. I was sweating. I came in, still had my coffee.
I was like, bro, you don't look good.
Yeah, I was not feeling good. And Ryan was like, dude, go home. And I was like,
Like a little kid, he goes, but you told me you had mono.
it worked. So then I just came in. I was like, I'm just going to suck it up. It might suck, but I'm just going to do it anyways. You know, it's little things like those, though, that it's like, you know what? if I could do it like this, I can do it any other day of the
Sure.
week.
Yeah.
And then I went home and I
Had
ended up
COVID.
getting I had COVID for
Yeah.
the week.
Thanks for bringing that in.
Yeah.
I honestly, I don't want to even spotlight myself and my accomplishments. Those are all secondary to me. It's the little victories and seeing some of the work that my clients have had and coming in. I started full time January 28th. I walked away from my other job because, to be blunt, I was unhappy. And when you're unhappy and you're not in a good mental space, you need to put yourself someplace that's great. And legitimately, every day I wake up, I am happy to walk into these doors because I've got, honestly, one of my best friends in Ryan. Very, 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 very close second with Josh. And
Jeez, if he's second, Jesus.
Wow.
Wow. Doesn't really do me much justice.
Oh my God. Jesus.
Jeez, you've known the kid for 6 months, and now he's all your best friend, your second best friend?
Well, at least he's not going beep, beep, beep right now.
Yeah.
But to have those guys constantly on my back and having to, I know this is going to sound weird, I have to play catch up to them and how good they are, and knowing that I've got their support in every aspect of my life. And that translates into me being able to be a good coach and a trainer to my people and know that I'm able to impact them positively.
And I want you said one thing is like, your personal accolades are one thing, but like to see the results and crazy some shit that people are doing. And I know we emphasize it a lot, but look at like Chris Roop, man. Like, that's a 70-pound
Difference.
weight loss in like 5 months. And
Yeah.
Jody Sheldon, she just told me, she's like, I just hit 50. Like, you just lost 50 pounds as a human being. And I don't want to just to make it all about weight loss. You got Rachel's going to go do an ultra today.
Right now.
You got Kayla does all this stuff. We have a group of people that do Spartan races and 5Ks and 10Ks. And the girls last year that ran half marathons and marathons. Like, those are monumental accomplishments that you'll never forget.
Yeah.
And I have one client that when I first started here, frozen shoulder, hadn't been able to lift her arm above a certain degree. And her big thing was, I want to run Boilermaker, but I need to run free and loose. And it's like, we've worked to the point where like her arm can now go above her head. And I know that sounds to some people like big whoop. It's like, no, that was months and months of work, 3 days a week, in order to get her to feel comfortable to be able to lift weights like that and to be able to move. And she gets out and she runs and like will send me these like, her numbers of what she did. And it's like, to me, that makes me need to be a better person, a better trainer, and all of that stems from walking in this door at 4:40 every morning and just being ready to rock to no matter what comes through the door.
Mike, it looks like this is going to be the grand finale here.
Grand finale, okay.
So make it your best one.
All right, I'll give it a shot. So, according to some online statistics, like 28% of the U.S. population works out on a regular basis, some sort of physical activity. So, like, how do you guys think the world would be different if that number was like 75%?
I think mental health would be a lot better.
Yeah.
I think, I kind of heard the expression, if there was a world without mirrors, what would it be like?
Yeah. Oh shit.
Yeah, think about that concept is like, you choose your worth by what you look like, not by like the great things that you offer as a human being. Like, what are your 5 best characteristics? It's not, and I think it's that stupid quote that, hey, your tombstone will never say that you had 6-pack and shit like that.
Yeah.
They'll just say like, hey, you were a good person. That's how people are going to remember you. So I think if that number is a lot higher, like mental health, goes way down, as far as like the drastic bad numbers of it all. I think longevity is a big thing. I think you'll start seeing people that are
Like even attitude, the attitude amongst people, the interactions that you have amongst people as well. Because I think one thing about
Parenting.
definitely. That's like what one of the girls said to me at the meetup on Thursday that we had. Her daughter now looks at her like in such a light that she's like, oh my God, you're so much happier this way. And it's just a trickle down effect too, because now her daughter wants to work out, do all these sorts of things with her too even.
I think that that's something that I enjoy seeing is, the parents who bring their kids in, Leslie bringing her daughter in, Jamie bringing hers, Jacqueline bringing her
Des
daughter.
bringing,
Yeah.
Evan.
Yeah.
Shout out to Evan.
D Nice's son is now working with you.
Yeah.
And it's to see those positive effects. It's like you're affecting a future generation that is going to put their mental health first, because the correlation between working out and the endorphins that are released and positive image, and if someone can do 10 push-ups correctly, you will not believe how much that boosts their self-confidence, and we've seen it. And I mean, I know it sounds dumb, 10
saw
push-ups,
20
wow.
yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, and that's in adults. I think of Mark being super proud that since January, his push-up form, he can do 20 push-ups without stopping, and I'm just like, that to some would be like, oh, cool, but to me, that's like, dude, that's a victory,
Yeah.
and that's does so much for the brain.
Look at like the Cerrone family, like
Yes.
all of them come in,
Mhm.
I think those little type of nuances in relationships that, like Mike said, like that's your dialogue. That's
Yeah.
what you guys talk about. That's
Yeah.
a commonality, not like, hey, what'd you get on your test, or I don't know. I just think it's a cool thing to have as far as legacy goes, because if you teach it to your kid, they're going to teach it, and that's all they
Yeah.
expect.
And then plus, it's like something, we touch on all the time. It's you have these people who say, oh, I can't do this. I can't do this. And you're like, show me that you can.
Yeah.
Obviously, they do it, but it goes a little bit further, because now to them, it's like, okay, what more do I say I can't do, but I really can?
Yeah.
Let's find those little things.
Yeah, it's a total mentality shift. Like,
Mike, you got
impact.
one more question that you could ask
Oh,
really
geez.
quick. Like, let's go. It's
Okay.
7:28. We got about a minute and a half.
How do you see training evolving over the next 5 years? Not just here, but just general. Like there's been trends throughout the years. There was CrossFit, and then there was this, and there was that. Like, where do you think the industry is going?
I don't care where it goes. I think it's always going to come back to interpersonal relationships.
They have all the technology out there to,
Stupid.
that could help you time your lifts, how fast you want to go. But I think it ultimately comes down to the in-person interaction, like how you are as a coach and how things get delivered that way is going to do so much more than,
It's just like our banter yesterday with
Yeah.
Greg. It's the same stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you're not going to have the accountability to go to Planet Fitness. Nothing's going to change. If you had a total gym at your house, if you had a treadmill, how many people have treadmills with clothes hanging off them?
Oh, yeah.
That's the first thing I always say. You have all this stuff, you have all the tools, but you're not going to make an appointment to go to the dentist and just walk right in. You have to have that accountability. And I think that's where like the industry, I think, lacks, because we can have these huge box gyms with all the best equipment, but if you don't know how to use them and you always stop when it hurts, then I think you'll never get the results that you want.
Yeah.
And I also think that, Mike, you brought up one thing, is like you look forward to seeing people.
Yeah. It's like you said, people will change gyms, people won't leave people.
Right.
Doesn't
They won't
matter where
leave
you go.
relationships. Some will, and that's okay.
Yeah.
They'll always look for the bright and shiny
The
lure.
next best thing.
Yeah. But I think you got to look inward with that stuff.
Cool.
7:29.
Yeah.
Mike,
All
thank you for always coming
Thank you,
back.
Mike.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you.
Josh, you want to give a little spiel about YouTube and all that other stuff?
Well, don't forget Mother's Day shout out.
Yes, Mother's
happy
Day
Mother's
shout
Day.
out.
Yeah.
Tell moms.
Make sure to get your gifts in order, everything packaged and ready. Breakfast in bed is always a must.
Do you sleep with your mother?
No.
So how are you going to make her breakfast in bed?
I mean, I'll make breakfast when I go over.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Good for you.
Gym YouTube
Shout
channel.
out to Josh's mom.
Gym YouTube channel, the Gym 518, I think it is on there. Like, comment, subscribe. We're trying to get at least 50 subscribers to make sure that we can live stream through there, create a playlist. I think we're just about there anyways. Stay tuned, because we'll have a lot more stuff in store. Also, a little shout out, a friend of ours, Chris Mast. Chris Mast, period. Not going to go into the letter,
next
just
week.
to make sure. Yeah, just to make sure I don't butcher his name. He is doing a little spring festival at the car shop off of Route 9. Not too sure what.
Tons
is
of
much-
vendors, tons
yeah.
of events, cornhole tournaments, live music, things like that. Yeah, it should be
He's
a fun
going to
time.
bring a flyer to the gym. He'll put on the bar, so there'll be a little bit more details. I will be there 12:30 to 1. If you want to come throw a ball, get me dunked in some water.
Cool.
There we go.
All right, end of the show, 7:31.
That's it.
All right.
Have a great Saturday.
There you go.